Do you know why Japan is one of the most impressive world powers on the planet? It's not because they were born with a special talent. It's not because everything was handed to them. It's because laziness doesn't exist in Japan. Well, let me correct that. Laziness does exist, but they don't treat it like something normal. They treat it like what it really is, a disease. A disease that kills you slowly, that steals your dreams, that turns you into a ghost that breathes but doesn't live. I'm already drunk. And here in Latin America, do you know how we treat laziness? We celebrate it, we justify it, we romanticize it. We say things like, I'm tired, I deserve to rest, I don't feel like it today, I'm just not motivated. And while we continue to make excuses, we continue to sink deeper and deeper into mediocrity. And then we ask ourselves, why are other countries outperforming us? Why are others advancing while we remain stagnant? And the answer is simple but painful. They work while we make excuses. I was born in Colombia but raised in Japan. My father is Japanese, my mother is Colombian. I have lived in both worlds, seen both cultures, and experienced both mentalities. Let me tell you something that may hurt but that you need to hear. The difference between a culture that progresses and a culture that stagnates is how they treat laziness. In Japan, if you are lazy, you are an embarrassment, not to others but to yourself. In Latin America, if you are lazy, you find 1,000 friends who will justify you. Relax, we are all tired. Rest, you only have one life. Don't stress so much. And those friends are killing you with their misunderstood compassion. Today I am going to share with you the 7 methods that the Japanese use to treat laziness as the disease that it is. And I warn you, these are not gentle methods. They are not nice words of motivation. They are harsh treatments for a deadly disease. Because let me ask you something, how many dreams? How many dreams have you killed with your laziness? How many opportunities have you let pass you by because you didn't feel like it? How many times have you said, tomorrow I'll start, and that tomorrow never comes? Laziness is not harmless. Laziness is the cancer of your potential. The first Japanese method is called Ichigo Ichi. It means once, one encounter. Or more simply, this opportunity will never come again. The Japanese live with the awareness that each moment is unique and unrepeatable, that this morning you're wasting in bed will never come back, that this day you're throwing away because of laziness is a day you'll never get back. They don't procrastinate because they understand that procrastinating is robbing you of your future. I remember so much when I arrived in Japan with my mother. I was 8 years old, and we were very Colombian, relaxed, easy going. We'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it later, not now, later. My father looked at us with a mixture of confusion and horror, and one day, he told me something that left its mark on me forever. He said, Kenji, in Colombia, you say tomorrow. In Japan, we say now. It's that simple, a forward-moving nation versus one that lags behind. And as a child, it bothered me. I thought my father was too strict, too demanding, too rigid. Why couldn't we be more relaxed? Why did everything have to happen now, immediately? But today I understand. Today I'm grateful. Because Ichigo's now mentality that this opportunity won't come back is what has allowed me to achieve things that I myself didn't think were possible. So the first method to cure your laziness is this. Every time you feel lazy about doing something, repeat this. This opportunity will never come back. This moment is unique. And get up, move, take action. Not tomorrow, not later. Now, because time is all you have. Tomorrow is an illusion that lazy people use as an excuse. The second method is called Kaizen, but applied to your personal life. Kaizen means continuous improvement. The Japanese believe that you don't have to make giant changes, you just have to improve 1% every day. Sounds small, right? 1%. But let me show you something. If you improve 1% every day for a year, by the end of the year, you won't be 1% better. You'll be 37 times better. 37 times. That's the power of Kaizen. But if you get 1% worse every day because of laziness, procrastination, doing nothing, by the end of the year, you'll have lost practically everything. You'll be almost at zero. So laziness is not neutral. It's not that you stay the same. It's that you sink. It's that you regress. It's that you die a slow death. I knew a man in Osaka. His name was Mr. Yamamoto. He worked cleaning toilets at a train station. He was 60 years old, and I saw him every day on my way to work. And he impressed me because he cleaned those toilets as if they were a sacred temple, with a dedication, with a care, with a love that I had never seen before. And one day, I went up to him and asked, Mr. Yamamoto, why do you clean so diligently? It's just a bathroom. And he looked at me with eyes full of pride and said something I've never forgotten. He said, young man, I don't clean bathrooms. I practice excellence. Every day I try to clean better than I did yesterday. Every day I look for a stain I didn't see before. Every day I perfect my technique. If I do this with excellence, I can do anything with excellence. And he taught me that Kaizen is not about your work, it's about your character. So the second method to cure your laziness is to commit to improving 1% every day. Don't tell me you're going to change your whole life tomorrow. That's a lie. Tell me, what are you going to do today that's 1% better than yesterday? Are you going to wake up 5 minutes earlier? Do it. Are you going to read a page of a book? Do it. Are you going to do 10 push-ups? Do it. 1%. But every day, no excuses, no negotiations, no laziness. The third method is called Shoshin, beginner's mind. The Japanese believe that one of the causes of laziness is that we think we already know everything, that we've done it before, that we already know the results, so we get bored. We're lazy to repeat ourselves. But Shoshin says, approach each task as if it were the first time, with curiosity, with humility, with a desire to learn. I worked in a car factory in Japan when I was 18 years old, and there was a man who had been doing the same job for 30 years. 30 years installing the same screw in the same place. I thought, this man must be bored to death inside. But one day I really observed him, and I realized that he looked at each car as if it were his first. He checked each screw with the same attention, making sure it was perfect. And I asked him, don't you get bored of doing the same thing for 30 years? And he told me every car is different. Every screw is unique. I don't do the same thing. I perfect the same thing. And there I understood that mental laziness comes from the arrogance of believing that we already know. When you adopt Shosen, when you recover the beginner's mind, everything becomes interesting again. Everything becomes an opportunity to learn. And when something is interesting, laziness disappears. So the third method is this. Before doing any task, especially the ones that make you lazy, say this. I'm gonna do it as if it were the first time. I'm gonna find something new. I'm gonna learn something. And do it with that attitude. You'll see how laziness evaporates. The fourth method is gamen, which means perseverance with dignity, hisiruderi. The Japanese don't believe in giving up. They don't believe in saying, I can't. They don't believe in laziness as an excuse. They believe in gamen, in enduring, in persevering, in moving forward, even if it's difficult, even if you're tired, even if you don't feel like it, because your desire doesn't matter. What matters is your commitment. And here comes something strong that I need to tell you. In Latin America, we have confused self-care with complacency. We have confused rest with laziness. We have confused respect for our emotions with being slaves to our cravings. And that is killing us, because it turns out that we never feel like doing what we have to do. We never feel like working hard. We never feel like being disciplined. We never feel like sacrificing ourselves. So, if we live governed by our desires, we will never achieve anything. The Japanese do not ask if you feel like it. They ask if you are committed. And if you are committed, you do it. Whether you feel like it or not, tired or rested, motivated or not motivated, you do it because you said you were going to do it. And your word is worth more than your comfort. I had a martial arts teacher in Japan who made us train until we literally couldn't do it anymore, and I would complain, Sensei, I am tired. And he would look at me and say, Kenji, tiredness is mental, pain is mental, laziness is mental. Your body can do much more than your mind believes. Show your mind who it is, commands. And he kept us going. And he was right. When I thought I was finished, I was still going. When I thought I was gonna collapse, I didn't collapse. It was my weak mind trying to protect me from the discomfort, but growth lives in discomfort. So the fourth method is to practice laziness. When you're tired, when you don't feel like it, remember this. My desire doesn't rule me, my commitment does, and do it. Without drama, without complaints, with dignity, like a samurai facing the battle, even though he knows it's going to hurt. The fifth method is called Saisaiton Seiso, the 3S, order, organization, cleanliness. The Japanese believe that your external environment reflects your internal state. If you live in disorder, your mind is in disorder. If you live in dirt, your life is dirty. If you live in chaos, you are chaotic. And that disorder breeds laziness. Because in disorder, everything feels overwhelming, everything feels complicated, and when something feels complicated, you are lazy to start. I remember when we lived in a small apartment in Tokyo. Every morning, without fail, my father would clean. The first thing he did, it didn't matter if the apartment was already clean, he would clean it again. And I would ask him, Dad, why are you cleaning when it's already clean? And he would say, I don't clean to make it clean, I clean to clear my mind. When my surroundings are in order, my mind is in order. And when my mind is in order, I can do anything. And I thought that was foolish. Until years later, when I was living alone and going through a crisis, my apartment was a mess. Clothes strewn about, dirty dishes, clutter everywhere, and I felt paralyzed. I couldn't work, I couldn't think, I just wanted to stay in bed. And one day I remembered my father's words, and I got up and cleaned. I cleaned everything, organized everything, tidied everything up, and when I was done, something changed in me. My mind felt clearer, my energy returned, the laziness went away, and I was able to work. Clutter and laziness are best friends. They feed off each other. Order and action are also best friends. So the fifth method is this. If you're struggling with laziness, start by decluttering your space. Do it right now, not tomorrow. Now, throw away what you don't need. Organize what you do need, clean up your space, and watch your mind clear and laziness dissolve. The sixth method is called Hansei, which means deep reflection. The Japanese do something at the end of each day that almost no one in the West does. They sit down and reflect. What did I do well today? What did I do wrong? When was I lazy? What am I going to improve tomorrow? And they do it with brutal honesty. No justifications, no excuses, just the truth. And this is what kills laziness. Because when you force yourself to reflect on your day, when you force yourself to admit that you were lazy, something inside you becomes ashamed, and that healthy shame motivates you to change. It's not a toxic shame that paralyzes you, it's a constructive shame that propels you. I started practicing Han 10 years ago. Every night before I go to sleep, I write in my journal, and there's one question that never fails to come up. What was I lazy about today? And I force myself to answer honestly, because it's easy to lie to myself during the day, it's easy to justify my laziness, but when I sit down at night and have to write it down, I can't lie to myself anymore. And that honesty is what has kept me disciplined for years. Anas. So the sixth method is to practice Han every night. Before going to sleep, reflect, today, was I disciplined or was I lazy? Today, did I take action or procrastinate? Today, did I keep my word or make excuses? And answer honestly and write it down, because what you write becomes real, and what becomes real forces you to change. The seventh and final method is called Shogun, which literally means it can't be helped. Daisekanda. And this may sound contradictory, but listen carefully. The Japanese know when to fight and when to accept. They are aware of the distinction between what you control and what you don't. And laziness often comes from wasting energy. We're worrying about things we can't control. And when we waste all our energy on useless worries, we have no energy left for action. And that feels like laziness, but it's actually mental exhaustion. Shogunai teaches you to let go of what you can't control and focus all your energy on what you can control. You can't control the past, Shogunai, let it go. You can't control what others think of you, Shogunai, let it go. You can't control the economy of the country, Shogunai, let it go. But you can control your actions today. You can control your effort. You can control your discipline. So focus your energy there. I met an old man in a temple in Kyoto. He was 85 years old and still working. I asked him, "Grandpa, aren't you tired? Don't you want to rest?" And he looked at me with a smile and said, "Young man, resting is rusting. I work because my body can still work. The day I can no longer, Shogunai, will be the time to stop. But while I can, why waste the gift of being able to move my hands, my feet, my body? Laziness is an insult to life." And those words destroyed me, because I was 30 years old at the time, and sometimes I was too lazy to get out of bed. And here was an 85-year-old man working with joy, with purpose, with gratitude for being able to do it. And I felt ashamed, and from that day on, I changed. So the seventh method is to practice Shogunai. Let go of what you cannot control. Stop wasting energy on useless worries and focus all your energy on what you can control, which is your action, your effort, your discipline, your commitment. And when you do, you will see that laziness disappears. Because laziness is not a lack of energy. It is misdirected energy. Now let me ask you something, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. How much of your life have you wasted because of laziness? How many opportunities have you let pass you by? How many dreams have you killed? How many better versions of yourself have you sacrificed on the altar of comfort? And the most important question, are you going to keep doing it, or are you going to treat it like a disease that needs to be cured? Because let me tell you something that no one will ever tell you. Time doesn't wait. Life is not going to give you another chance. This moment that you're living right now is the only one that you're guaranteed. And if you waste it on laziness, it's gone forever. There's no rewinding. There's no replaying. It's now or never. I've seen too many people reach the end of their lives full of regret, full of if onlys, if onlys, if onlys, amafa. And all of that regret comes from one source: laziness. Of not having acted when they could have, of having put off what was important, of having chosen comfort over growth. And I don't want you to be one of those people. I don't want you to reach 60, 70, 80 years old and look back and realize everything you could have been, but you weren't because you were lazy, because that is the greatest tragedy of all. It's not failing at trying. It's never having tried because of laziness. So today you are going to start treating your laziness like an illness, and you are going to apply these 7 methods as a treatment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel motivated. Today, now, be Goichi. This opportunity will never come again. You are going to commit to improving 1% every day with Kaizen. You are going to recover your beginner's mind with Shoshin. You are going to practice perseverance with dignity with Gaiman. You are going to organize your space with Seiri Seitan Seiso. You are going to reflect honestly every night with Hansei. And you are going to let go of what you can't control and focus on what you can with Shoganai. To put it bluntly, this won't be easy. The first few days you're going to want to give up. Your body is going to protest. Your mind is going to make excuses. Your lazy friends are going to try to sabotage you. They're going to tell you that you're getting too intense, too obsessive, too over the top. And you're going to have to make a decision. Either you continue being like them, comfortable and mediocre, or you become someone different, uncomfortable, but extraordinary. And when you make that decision, when you choose discipline over laziness, something is going to change in you. Not just in your external results, in your internality, in your character, in your identity, because discipline is not just a practice, it's a way of being. It's who you are when no one is watching. It's what you do when you don't feel like it. It's who you choose to be in the moments when it's easier to give up. I'm not successful because I got lucky. I'm not successful because I was born with some special talent. I'm successful because I refuse to be lazy, because I decided that my word is worth more than my comfort, because I chose to be disciplined even though it cost me everything. And today, looking back, I can tell you that it was worth every drop of sweat, every moment of discomfort, every time I did what I had to do even if I didn't want to. And you can achieve it too, not because you are special, but because you decide to be. Not because you are talented, but because you decide to work harder than the talented. Not because you are lucky, but because you decide to create your own luck with consistent action. So, if this message touched something inside you, if something in your heart was awakened, let me ask you for something. Subscribe to this channel, but don't do it for me, do it for you. Every time you see a notification, it will be a reminder that you chose discipline, that you declared war on your laziness, that you made a commitment to yourself. Like this video, because when you do, you are showing gratitude. You are telling the universe that you received something valuable, and that energy returns multiplied. Let me know in the comments which of the 7 methods you are going to start applying today, because when you write down your commitment, it becomes real. You are telling your mind that you are serious, and you are activating the bell, not so that I can interrupt you, but so that each notification becomes your growth alarm, your reminder that laziness no longer rules you. This is not just a video. This is your declaration of independence. This is the day you free yourself from the disease of laziness. This is the moment that years later you will remember as the turning point of your life. The day you said enough, the day you decided to be different.